All right, so welcome to the live stream. And I just heard about Uniform today, Uniform 3D Editor. So here is the page I'm on an Apple iPad Pro 2022. And right, so okay, I can turn you off. So I'm on a iPad Pro 2022, and we're just gonna try it out because I never heard about it until today, and I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Works best with Apple Pencil. Some features may not be accessible when using touch only. Excuse me. Uniform is optimized for the latest iPad devices. Some optimizations may not be available for 2018 and earlier. A multi-purpose, art-focused data editor. Interesting wording. I noticed that, like 3D editor. So it doesn't look like it's like modeling or sculpting. It's editing, whatever that means. 197 megabytes, sparseal. So I guess they did Cozy Blanket, which I also tried, but I didn't really understand topology or anything. So, but hey, let's see what happens. Can I just? Oh, I guess maybe it's because it's a new iPad. Let me figure this out. I don't want to show my screen. What can I show? Mac cam. No, that's me. No. No. 3D prints. No. What's up? Okay, we're gonna try this out. I think on this screen, because I don't think you can really see much on this screen. No, I don't think so. Because I don't really know my password. There's always something. Why can't I just like double tap to download it? Sign in with Apple ID. Okay, what's Apple ID? So yeah, I'm continuing to try stuff with Valence as well, but there's issues that I just can't seem to get by. I'm just not great at that kind of modeling. Okay, so let me find my Apple ID. This is the fantastic part about live streams. What's up, Nick Menton? In the meantime, if any of you guys have questions in the chat, I will answer your questions while I get my life together and figure out my password. Apple. Oh, I don't even know if this is the right one. Let's try it. Oh, there we go. Okay. Annoying. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, but I figure looking at it, $50 is kind of a lot of money, and there's going to be a lot of people that don't want to pay that just to try it out. There's no videos on it, so I figured, why don't I just get it? Excuse me. Anytime I start streaming, my throat does that. I apologize. Welcome to Uniform. Uniform features a unique modular tool system, a component-based 3D scene representation, and new user interfaces for interacting with art tools. This interactive slideshow will introduce you to Uniform's main concepts and demonstrate how each individual system functions. Feel free to explore and interact with the content on each slide to gain an intuitive understanding of each topic. Using Uniform's tools in this interactive tutorial requires Apple Pencil, an external hardware keyboard, external hardware keyboard, they might have lost me on that one. They, like, literally, I might just refund because I don't want to use a keyboard when I'm using the iPad. Oh, I don't know how to make my text not go to the iPad. It's so annoying. Property controls. Property controls are used throughout Uniform to change property values. Each one of them works differently. Try using each individual control to edit different property types. Color. The color control is split into 3 areas by vertical lines. Tap and drag horizontally to slightly tweak the hue, saturation, and value of the color. Double tap to show the full color wheel control. Okay. Oh, left and right. It's weird that it has to go into the other ones. Okay. Okay, so maybe like that's the color. This is the saturation. Oh, and that's the value. Okay. Option B, enum. Tap and drag vertically without releasing to change between options. The selected option is highlighted in the middle. Enum? E-number? I don't know what that means. Option A. Tap and drag vertically without releasing to change between options. Oh, so maybe that's just like how to change through numbers or something like that. Float. Tap and drag horizontally to change the value. The pressure used when dragging affects the control precision. Double tap to show a keypad for numeric input. Tap and drag horizontally to change the value. Okay, so you can kind of pull, but I think if I press harder, maybe it moves more. I'm not sure. Yeah. So if I press harder, I think it seems to slide a little faster. Okay. Range. Tap or drag on the control to set a value. Double tap to show a keyboard for numeric input. Okay, that makes sense. Integer. Tap and drag from the center to quickly change the value. Tap and drag on the control sides to increase or decrease the value by 1 unit. Okay, so this is left and right. And then 10 if I want maybe 110. Oh no, that just goes up like that. Okay. Cool. What's up? Ike Pastel, put your iPad on Do Not Disturb. Okay, maybe I can do it quickly here. Let's see. Put on the little moon. Hopefully that works. It's like it's so hard to do anything with like technology. The one thing I can't do is look at TikTok at any point in time in the day. Widgets. Widgets are UI elements that expose controls and information about uniform state and objects. You can select widgets depending on your current task. Try using the highlighted swap button to show the widget gallery. You can then select another widget to replace the previous one in the widget view. And of course I need water as well. I feel like I'm dying. Try using the highlighted swap button to show the widget gallery. So I'm guessing this is the highlighted swap button. Okay, I mean, kind of cool, but I don't really know. Okay, so maybe these are just like the little windows. And so here's how we open up. Are these all the same though? Oh, they're all different parts of it, aren't they? Oh, so you can make them, you can set them. Okay, so you can open these windows and set them to whatever you want them to be. Make this color. Okay. Can you draw in this Android 3D programs? Nomad Sculpt. Let's see, how do I answer that? Can you draw in this Android 3D programs? This is my first time ever using it, so I have not gotten past the windows which show how to use the application. Parentheses Nomad Sculpt. You can't draw in Nomad Sculpt unless you create a 3D sculpt and then you use the paint tool to draw on it. Tools. All actions in Uniform are performed using tools. This includes editing objects, editing the scene, or changing the object settings. Tap the Apple Pencil on the viewport to activate the symmetry tool. Tap on a circle to activate axis symmetry. I gotta read that again. So tap with the Apple Pencil on the viewport to activate symmetry tool. Okay. So I guess I've activated the symmetry tool. Tap on a circle to activate axis symmetry. Okay. You can then use one of the brushes to see how the symmetry affects the tool. You can then use one of the brushes, okay, to see, oh, okay, so I'm guessing, okay, I thought that would be the paint brush. Paint, no, okay, just kidding. So we go back to symmetry. How do I undo? Okay, so I think okay, so how do I use one of the brushes? Oh, there we go. It's just like a blue. Okay. Alright, I actually don't know how I'm controlling the color. It just does random colors. Okay, cool. So let's say we go back to symmetry and we want to do, so we tap this and then tap the center to turn it off, I guess. So we'll tap this one and then we'll go to paint. Oh, so now it's just doing, oh, top and bottom, I think. Okay, so these are the symmetry. Can I move this around? No. So now it would be all sides. Okay. So symmetry, you tap the circle and then tap the middle to like turn it off. Or turn them both off. And then you can choose. Okay, so kind of makes sense. Tool grid. You can change the staged tool using the tool grid. Okay, so this is the tool grid. The tool grid is a directory like structure directly maps to your keyboard. You can quickly change between tools by memorizing their pattern. Touch the grid or press the corresponding keyboard. Touch the grid or press the corresponding keyboard shortcut to navigate the tool grid and select different tools. You can tap an empty slot to go back to the initial grid state. Okay, so you can use a little keyboard. I used to have a little keyboard. I don't know what I did with it though. I have actually no clue. I'll have to look for it. Okay, symmetry, staged tools, S. But I don't see symmetry here. Oh, touch the grid or press the corresponding keyboard. Okay, so X. The only problem is I don't know how to... Oh, maybe I'm supposed to not... Okay, so let's say we want... Oh, I guess I'm supposed to press D. But I don't know where a split is. It says split stage tool. This tool will run when using the pencil on the viewport. I'm so confused. I don't want to use split. I want to use something else. I don't know. Can anyone figure out what I'm supposed to be doing here? Can I search? I think the problem is I just want to see those apps that are like above, but I don't know how to really get to them. Oh, okay, so they're like tools. So each letter has a multitude of tools. Okay, I get it now. Or I get it a little bit better. I thought it was like just a grid with like all these different tools. I didn't realize there were tools within tools. So now I feel like it's all messed up. Okay, so I still don't quite know how to use it. Oh. No, I'm confused. So if I press Q and I want to use... Oh, that's a staged tool. Okay, oh well. I'm gonna see if I have my little keyboard, and I'm gonna get some water because my throat is like a frog, a dried frog. I'll edit this eventually, and I'll edit out all these parts. Tool modules. Uniform tools are composed of multiple modules that define an aspect of the tool behavior. You can customize what a tool does by switching its modules. Use the tool in the provided viewport. Then use the highlighted swap icon and select another viewport shape module. See how the tool behavior changes. Okay, so what tool am I using? I'm using the star tool, but I think it's like, I don't know why the initial colors are like so hard to see. Okay. True. Oh, so maybe it's my fault. Oh no, I can't. Oh no, I can change that. So let's say we want to do green. Okay, and then apparently it's erase. Okay, and then swap. Circle, I guess. Okay, so we got a nice circle. Okay, so we can change tools. I think maybe that's all I need to learn here. I don't know what all this is. Oh, this is just like different shapes. Rect. I don't like that. I don't like that nickname. Okay, next slide. Tool editor. The tool editor shows all modules that compose a tool. Modules communicate with each other automatically. Uniform has a large number of modules which are shared between multiple tools. All right, it seems like now we're getting into the meat and potatoes. This is starting to sound like Blender talk. Viewport shape paint color brush. Brush tool. Okay, sphere, fall off. Okay, so this is maybe fall off. Returns fall offs based on the distance to a point. So fall off is like a faded edge, or like a you know how it kind of like the ends will blur. Input relay records and overrides the panel input of an input filter with a previous tool execution input samples. I have to read this again. Input replay records and overrides the panel input of an input filter with a previous tool execution input samples. Yeah, no, that's definitely that definitely sounds like Blender. Blender has a way of explaining things where it's like they'll explain something like, oh, this is the input tool, and you use the input tool by putting an input, and then the input tool will put in the input. It's kind of how that's how I feel when I read like Blender definitions of something. Paint color brush kernel blends a new color on top of the current ALB's surface color. Okay. Alright, so can I tap on these? Viewport shape paint color brush, mod overrides, info. So yeah, this is a lot. I don't know. I'm just gonna read this, but I'm not gonna spend too much time going over this because this is just like way beyond. Modules added to an override list will replace the ones stored in the tool without modifying the original preset. For example, you can set a module override with a snapping module to enable snapping for all tools that support it. Try loading the retopology override presets into the global override list. See how the null surface target module in the current tool gets disabled. When running this tool, the new scene surface target will be used. Oh my lord. I don't know. Next slide. Object components. Uniform objects are composed of multiple components that represent a single aspect of their data and its corresponding editing operations. These are the main components used in uniform. Try understanding what each of the components represent and the operations it allows. Tools are organized by the main component type they affect. Surface represents the object's color, texture, material, properties. Okay. Examples of tool that interact with it. Okay, that makes sense. Deformation, pose deformer, relax, object transform. Controls the object's primary shape, used by deformation tools, transform gizmos, and posing tools. Okay, that makes sense. Region, I thought it said religion at first. Manages individual object parts, controls their visibility, used for partial visibility, control partial duplication, and limiting the effects of tools. That makes sense. It's kind of like a mask. Layout represents an object's internal data organization used by operations such as subdivide, decimation. So layout is subdivide, decimation, resampling, and symmetrize. Okay. Manage an object node tree, node types, relationships, and instances. Okay. Alright, this is a lot. But you guys can pause and read the rest of these if you want. What's up, Teeks? Good to see you here. What's up, Stolo? Brave man, I've been waiting for some content on how the heck to use this thing. Unfortunately, I don't think this content is going to be any helpful. You already have to have a PhD in engineering and physics to get through the helpful opening window. I definitely don't have it. My brain just doesn't click so far. Object types. An object's final output data, what is going to be exported or sent to a renderer, is represented by its type. Object type. Tools will automatically edit the low-level object data differently to create the same visual output. Hopefully you can't hear the water in the background. Use the surface rebuild tool, click and drag. Surface rebuild, so surface rebuild. Click and drag on the polymesh sphere. See how, depending on the object type, surface rebuild performs a UV unwrap or SDF remesh. Then use the color paintbrush on each of them. Is it just, oh, I can see like this object uses a low poly editable mesh. Okay, so can you like paint like just on okay, so I'm guessing this is the UV unwrap of the whole sphere. So when I go to paint, use the surface rebuild tool on the polymesh sphere and geosphere. See how, depending on the object type, surface rebuild performs a UV unwrap or SDF remesh. Then use the color paintbrush on each of them. So okay, so I don't think I did it on this one. So maybe that did like a SDF remesh, whatever that is. I gotta mute, so I'll be back in 1 second, but I'll try to figure this out. Sorry, there's blending going on. So rebuild. Okay, so whatever. I don't understand how to use this because the paint's not doing anything. So let me check the comments in case someone sees something that I don't. What's up, Mr. Wu? It's an interesting system, but a bit to get through. Seems like it so far. It's funny to see something that looks so obtuse in today's world. ZBrush has a good excuse. Not sure what is going on here. You and me both. What's up, Shim? I was confused a bit when I tried beta. I see there's videos on their site. Will eventually check them out before and make sure I understand them before I buy this. What's up, Systematic? Appreciate all you guys coming and swinging through while we try to power through this. Videos manual weren't on site during most of beta, and there's like a little heart on my screen and it always blocks out the text, and they're very recently released. So yeah, I don't think if any of you guys are seeing something that I'm missing here, but the only thing I can do is go like that, and then I try to use the paintbrush and nothing seems to happen. So I'm not sure what else it's telling me to do. Okay, so we'll just go through. So it's already a bad stream. I don't want to make it the worst stream ever. Scene nodes. Uniform scenes are composed of multiple nodes that reference objects. Uniform scenes are composed of multiple nodes that reference objects. Depending on the scene selection and visibility state, tools will affect different object nodes. Try holding down the highlighted selection shortcut with one finger. Try holding down the highlighted selection shortcut with one finger to activate a scene selection tool. While holding the button down, tap or drag over the spheres to select them. You can also change the visibility and selection state from the outliner. Okay, so let's just break it down into parts. Try holding down the highlighted selection shortcut with your finger. With one finger to activate a scene selection tool. While holding the button down, tap or drag over the spheres to select them. Okay. You can also change the visibility and select state from the outliner. Okay, so ghost, object name, do I have to let go to like do it? I don't know. Delete. Okay. Alright, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. Okay. Hello. Alright. Oh, is there supposed to be more here? Oh no. Surface views. Surface views are used to define how uniform renders objects in a viewport. Sorry, my cadence is like so difficult reading these sentences. Surface views are used to define how uniform renders okay, we're going to try this one more time. Surface views are used to define how uniform renders objects in a viewport. By default, uniform will use a chart surface view, which lets you quickly blend between different shading modes depending on the task. Hold down the highlighted surface view shortcut and drag on the viewport to move the chart surface view coordinate. Heavens. You can also paint on the sphere to see how different positions of the chart surface affect shading. So like some sort of mask, maybe? So I hold this down. Wait, what? Oh. Okay, so maybe this is just like different shading modes. Oh, okay. So lighting, full shade, shapes, solid colors. So if I hold it down, so that's solid colors. This is shapes. So that's the sphere. This is lighting. So what kind of lighting is that? That's so confusing. Is lighting. Full shading. Okay. We'll just go with shapes. I can understand shapes. Okay, cool. So surface views, an easy way to see the views. Okay, that makes sense. Uniform version 1.0.0.10. Okay. Alright, so we're in. Oh, this is like so hard to see. Let me figure out how to make it easier to see. Hold on a second. Let me close my window. That might help. Let me close my window. I think that might help a little bit. Okay, so... Oh, was that a little finger or was that an Apple Pencil? Oh, it's just a circle. New panel. Alright, now we're cooking. There's stream vids help me a bit. Maybe this is why you couldn't paint on the previous example, having to hold down the button while you paint. Yeah, true, maybe. That is true. But that's why we are trying to get through this together. I'll have to keep that in mind. A lot of things are hold down the thing and then do the other thing. So maybe that was the key. Okay, new panel, geomesh, high poly mesh, high poly sculpting. So I guess so I don't have to hit this, do I? Oh no, okay. Poly mesh, low poly, editable mesh, mesh topology editing, texture painting, normal map, sculpting, creating assets for games and real-time rendering. Yeah, these are for all the Game Boys. Okay, so I know that this thing, do I hold it down? Oh, I thought this was the thing that I hold down and then I do the little box. But I guess not. But it kind of is. Okay, so we have a box here. Can I make this like bigger? Can I move it once I... Guess not. Okay. So we have this here, and let's do it... Oh, I press here, right? Don't I press here and go to like these? Shapes. Why is the shape so crazy? Oh, we need like smooth shading or something? Or to turn smooth shading off? No. Ghost 1, Ghost 2. Okay, so there's this thing. Oh, let's see if there's a little help button or something. Reference import field workspace override. hardness, radius, factor. And this thing, I think I can like open it up and choose whatever I want. But we'll just leave it for now, I guess. But I don't know how to turn smooth shading on. So let's figure out how to like interact with this thing. And what is this? What is this? Object. Okay, we got some symmetry going. I don't know how that would be useful, but scene, graph, region, layout, view, search, add, surface. Surface. Sorry, hopefully I know this is probably a little hard to see down here. Mr. Pobbs, thanks for swinging by. What's up, Ed Boy? Appreciate you guys swinging by. Make sure to give me a like before you rip and dip. But it's always fun to figure out this stuff with some people to kind of like help me out. But I know it's probably hard to read around here, but I'm just trying to find something that will help with, I mean, maybe deformer. Relax, pose, inflate. Search. Smooth. Shading. Okay, so we got symmetry going. Oh, so is that no, that's not a light. I thought that was a light for a second, but I don't think it is. Alright, so let's just go through and see if we can make something happen. So here's lighting. What happened to the lighting? Is that changing the lighting? Okay, let's see what this does. Axis grid, floor grid. Perspective. Alright, let's get it off of, let's go to, I guess we'll go to shapes. Okay, Okay, let's see what this stuff does. Outliner, nodes, layer, base layer, add layer. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Anyone have see anything that I can do? Because I'm just like completely lost. I think it'd be nice if I can learn how to scale. Is that scale? Okay, so there's some things you have to hold and like do stuff, right? So I can hold this and move this around, so that's good. But I want to just scale the actual cube and not the workspace. I don't know what those are. Uncle Jesse, what's up? Right? Teeks, man, this is like, I'm a bit lost. You know what? The thing is I'm not a Blender thinker. My brain doesn't like compute in like Blender. And I think for Blender people, they'll be able to come in and be like, okay, we have to build nodes and use numbers and connect this and connect that, and that will make it squash. I just need a button here that says like, okay, squash this, pull this, boolean this, vertices, edges, but I don't know how to use the nodes, or however else I'm supposed to. So just in case, let's just go through this and see if I can make something happen. So I want to make sure that I'm not supposed to like, okay, so maybe this is like the tool. Do I have to like hold anything down? Okay, I accidentally turned it into a circle. Oh, now it's back. Now it's back to a circle. Okay, is this undo? Okay, so at least that's undo. We understand that. That's like one constant that like everyone's like, okay, let's make tap with 2 fingers undo, because people understand that. I'm glad I don't have to like build a node to be able to undo. So, oh, Blender is so complex. What's up, Donnie? What's up, Sock? What's up, Jean? Or Jean? Maybe it's Jean. At the moment, your active tool is symmetry. Facts. So let's just go back here. Object. Oh, so is this the active tool? Scene, convert, merge, pivot. Oh, I think I just accidentally changed the pivot. Pivot, replace, duplicate. Oh, let's see if we can make 2. Oh, we made 2. We're getting somewhere. Now how do I select it and now move it? Oh, now it just continues to duplicate. Okay, I got it. Cool. So we know how to duplicate. But we need some sort of grid or something like that, or some sort of snapping. I can't touch it anymore because it'll just duplicate. So let's see, what do we do next? Delete object. Okay. I don't know why I tapped on hierarchy, but let's just see what happens. Graph. Okay, graph. I still want to figure out how to get this. It looks so ugly. Is this the surface, maybe? Surface filter. Is it the way I'm viewing it? Perhaps? Oh, it's still on hierarchy. I just want to change this. Like, I just want a regular cube. Like, I don't want a cube that like looks like this. Like, what is this? What is that? Like, my brain doesn't compute this as just a normal cube, because there's all these weird shapes on it. I don't know if they're reflections, but I feel like it's just like a smooth shading thing, but I don't know how to take that off. What is this? Let me delete that. Okay, but anyway, what was I gonna try to do? Graph. Okay, let's try. Okay, deform. Deform makes sense. No active nodes. Aborting tool runtime. Perfect. Thank you. Very helpful. So, graph. Loop cut. So can I do a loop cut to this? No active nodes. Okay, so how do I activate a node? Insert. What is this? Oh, no, it's just going to give me that for everything, isn't it? It's a tesseract. What's a tesseract? I've been playing with Valence 3D. That seemed a little more intuitive than this. 100%. And yeah, 100%. Valence is like, I'm slowly, like, I can understand it more. The main thing, I have to get used to the layout of where everything is, because I just forget, because I'm a dum-dum. But there's just a few things that it doesn't do. I think once it does that, I'll be able, because again, like, I'm still getting used to this type of modeling. This is like over the top, super confusing. Like, you kind of have to have like a bachelor's degree in this already to start using it and understand it. Whereas, like, at least with Valence, like, it has a good, like, you can like read about the things and like sort of figure them out. Some things are still kind of like tricky, but that's also why I make videos, because any program I read or I do, any tutorial, there's always going to be things that are confusing. So I try to just like figure it out myself, like with a tutorial or with reading. But once I figure it out, then I can be like, oh, you have to do this first and then do this, and sort of regurgitate it in a way that makes sense. But I feel like with something like this, I just need to start simple. Like, how do I stretch and move the box around? You know what I mean? Like, that should just be like step one. Like, they bring you into the app and they're like, okay, step one. And then, like, click here to manipulate your box. And then you hold the thing down and you manipulate it, and you're like, oh, okay, that's how I manipulate the box. Or, like, this is how to add a grid. Like, I can kind of see a grid here, but I don't know. Like, what does it disappear? I don't remember what those are. It'd also be nice if it had the words there, so you could, like, just see what you're doing. And okay, so let's just press on some of these. Subdivide, symmetrize, flip. Okay, I don't need any of those. Deformer, transform. Optical transform, points transform. Oh, why is it? It's not moving the. You butt monkey. View. Scene. View node. What are all these? Okay, deform, transform, points transform. Come on, let's just move this cube. Surface. Selection. Surface selection. Oh, okay. Move. Yowza. I mean, I might keep the app and just wait for some tutorials to come out. And then once those tutorials come out, if I can understand them, then I'll make my own tutorials that are easy to understand. I think that's going to be my workflow, because my brain just doesn't. I don't know how to do any of this. Tesseract. Let's see. It might be unwrapped, and you're seeing the normal map trying to make a cube look like a sphere. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I was thinking the Tesseract from Marvel. I don't even know what that is from Marvel. I don't know that many. I know the Marvel characters, like, from the comic books from when I was little, but I don't really watch a lot of, like, the TV Marvel stuff. Are you excited for ZBrush? Do you think it will be as good as the PC version? I've never used it. What's up, Lissandro? First off, what's up? Let me make sure I didn't miss anyone else. I've never used ZBrush for PC. I've never done 3D on a PC, so I don't know what to compare it to. But what I like about the iPad is I feel like the iPad I feel like it would force apps to water down enough so that you can use it like on this interface. Like I like Blender, but like Blender is like absolutely insane and so confusing. Like it just needs like an overhaul. Like Blender just feels like a computer that has just been like added to and added to, and every year they add more to it to try to bring it up to speed. But it's still like a excuse me. It's still like a really old computer that just keeps getting modules added to it. Let me drink some water. Give me 1 second. Let me just mute real quick. Okay, maybe I can talk for a little while longer. So I'm excited to see what ZBrush is going to be like on the iPad. I don't want to use ZBrush. I don't want to try it on PC. I'm just going to use it like this on an iPad and just give a first-hand account on how a layperson, someone that isn't already like a professional 3D modeler for games or a professional Maya modeler that works for Disney or Netflix. Like I'm not one of those. I'm sure maybe those people could probably just go in here and understand it, but for normal people, like I feel like 3D on an iPad is like more to allow artists to like do 3D in a way that's like comprehensible, uh, in a way that we can understand in a more artsy fashion. But like what I don't want to see is like Blender on an iPad. Like what I'd like to see is like Blender Lite that has been like gone through and just like the Procreate effects, how like Procreate is like amazing on how it just makes everything so simple and intuitive. That's kind of like what I want for the iPad because I just don't think it needs to be so complex on an iPad. Um, okay. Shim. Okay, good. I can load their tutorial site on my reader's browser for all the long reading in my eyes. Oh, good. I'll just have to site load it on phone near me. Let's see, man. ZBrush on iPad would be so dope, but the subscription model would turn me off quick. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I might use it for a while on ZBrush, but I don't think I'm going to do like a subscription unless it's like amazing. Then if I'm forced to do it, but something like this, I'd rather just buy it. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to keep this application. I'll keep it for a little while. I did the same thing with Valence. Like sometimes I'll get the app and see what I feel. But with Valence, I can already feel like the that it's worth like what I paid for it because it's already like it's trending in the right direction. I'm sure like eventually the things that like I'm missing, like I just want Boolean and like a proper bevel with like to make things rounded. And then like I feel like I'll be able to then I can invest more time in figuring it out. But this, it's like I literally don't know how to adjust this box. And again, it's just because this is my first time using it. I'm sure once I watch some videos, I'll be able to figure it out. But it's just so confusing right now. Just like the way it's worded is like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel. I think I just understand things more of like an artist versus engineer. So this is and Valence like is plays a good middle ground in like the artistry, making it easy to understand, and like the engineering side because poly modeling is like engineering. It's not really like art. Like yeah, you're creating something that might be like artistic, but essentially it's literally just like edges, vertices, and polygons. Nomad is like sculpting, so that's why I love it. But what's up, Killa? 50 does seem steep and confusing. And I'm not, so that's another thing. Like if it was like maybe 20, $30, like I'd be like, okay, like, I'm doing this and probably a lot of people are going to watch this demo. Unfortunately, I wish it was more useful, but I do make money on YouTube, so I don't mind buying these things to show more people how to use them and to show what the experience is like. But $50 is kind of like, I don't know if that's worth it, because I don't know if I'll even use this. Like I'd rather just use Nomad and continue to learn balance. Mr. Rue, yeah, I'm fine with Nomad for sculpting so far. I remember ZBrush having poly modeling tools, though. Yeah, that would be interesting. It would be interesting to take a look. And the other thing is, I feel like ZBrush has been around for so long, and I've heard horror stories. Like everyone talks about like the UI, so I don't even want to deal with that. I just want to see what they do specifically for iPad, and then just learn from there as like a fresh start. But again, I'm not excited about the subscription, so I might just get it to try it and to like show what the process is walking through like this. But I don't know. I have so much fun with Nomad, and I see so much potential in balance. I don't want to learn like 50 million 3D apps, because I just feel like that will just take away from me creating. Donnie, this looks like something from the 90s, or like what you would see on a Star Trek iPad pad on what the future program would look like. 100%. What's up, Chris Duke? Thanks for swinging by. I appreciate it. Chris Duke, thanks for experimenting with other apps on our behalf. Yeah, 100%. Because I'm also curious about these things, so I feel like, it's sometimes I want to make good content, and I always know that I'm taking a chance when I download a new app, because I don't know how to use it. But it just is what it is. Some apps I can kind of go into and sort of work my way through. Some apps I'm not gonna be able to do it. But at least like I try to do the things, or I try to look at the comments and try to figure things out just like anyone would. So at least and if someone has said something in the comments, I try to use that too, because it's better to have like 100 eyes on something than two. But yeah, plus for $50, I can see a lot of people being like, I'll pass for a while. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna like mess with it anymore, but I'm just gonna go through the comments and just kind of hang out, and then maybe I'll start doing something else. I think I want to do a few more pieces of art by. So this is what I have. These are some of the art that I want to do. This is the live stream I did last night that I finished. It would kind of be cool to do this whole thing. I think that would be fun. And then here's some other ones. This would be really cool. I have to start doing more faces and stuff too. Shout out to Julie. Shout out to Artizzy. But these people have like 1 million followers, so like they'll never really like probably even see my 3D stuff. Well, actually, I don't know if I know this person has like 1 million followers, so they have like a zillion followers, 50,000 likes. So shout out to Jetpacks and Roller Skates. I think I want to do this. This looks like a lot of fun. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this part though. I have a problem with like doing things curved and clean. I find it a bit tricky. And this will be fun too. Looking forward to doing this as well. Shout out to Bambino Monkey and Rocket Lemon Games. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is the one I sent over to Blender. I did a turntable, but I haven't looked at it yet because I wanted to jump right into this thing. But anyway, let's look at some more comments before I bust out of here. But yeah, it does look like something from like an old futuristic rendition of like what some app would look like. Ed Boy, I saw somewhere on Reddit that someone wanted Blender on iPad. As cool as that would be, it would definitely need to be more intuitive. It is pretty powerful for all it comes with. 100%. I think Blender is like amazing. I think what Blender can do is absolutely. I feel like I should turn on my camera, even though I have my glasses on, which I hate. But I don't think I want to do my whole face. I'll make it smaller. I didn't put my contacts in, So sorry about that. But yeah, all right, let me see, where was I? I agree. Like, I think it'd be really cool to have Blender on the iPad, but it would need to be Blender Lite. Honestly, I feel like someone needs to, kind of like Nomad. I feel like someone needs to, who really understands it, needs to be like, okay, I'm gonna take Blender and do the Procreate thing. Like, I'm just gonna like trim it down, because you can't bring everything that Blender can do over into Nomad. It just doesn't the iPad is not going to be as powerful as like a computer with all those things in it. The RTX 4090. So the iPad is not going to be there. At most, you can just use the iPad as a screen to be able to draw on. But I think it'd be great if Blender had a Blender Lite that just caught everything up to date. Like, if they just look at Nomad or look at Procreate and like, okay, so this is how people understand things on an iPad, so let's just design it that way. Uh, I think it would just be easier if, when they made things and they designed things, they just had little blurbs about it, but not just blurbs like repeating the name of whatever the instruction is. Like, just say it in like layman's terms. You know what I mean? Like, just keep everything really simple and like kind of like dumbed down. Because I don't think it needs to be as confused. Like, Blender does not need to be as confusing as it is. Even things like physics on Blender, like, physics should just start with things working as though they would, like, for physics. You know what I mean? Like, if you set something to be like a rigid body and you set something to be a soft body, and then you like hit play, like, the default should just be like, okay, like maybe like a tennis ball falls, and like something, like, just like a middle ground of like softness, hardness, all of those things. Like, it can just be like simplified, and then it's like you tweak it. It shouldn't be like, oh, you go to make a ball fall, and it's like it just floats there, and they're like, oh, you have to turn off, I can't remember that button. Is it like game or node, or there's something that you have to press, otherwise it just floats there, and you're just like, why would this be like the base? Why would this be the baseline? Doesn't make any sense. uh, but I think all the applications that we have now show that all this stuff is like accessible, and it can be, um, it doesn't have to be as complicated as it is. Like, to me, all of that complicated stuff is just like a barrier to people being able to like be great at things, because this doesn't have to, it doesn't, you don't need all of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I think that would be the great thing about bringing it over to iPad, is because they would have to just trim it and just streamline it. And in 2024, like, come on, like, you have to streamline these apps. Sorry, I'm like just ranting. Um, Killa. Oh, I don't know why I put the E's in there. Donnie, Valence is priced pretty well too. Yep, I agree. Like, to me, Nomad is the closest to ZBrush on a mobile platform. I've seen some stuff done with Forger, is it Macon or Maxon? Maxon bought them like they did ZBrush, I believe. So you got to sub to them. Yeah, the subscription is a bit rough. I'll try it for a few months if it's like $7 a month, but other than that, uh, Killer Kawaii Crew. I love Kawaii. I love Kawaii style stuff. It's really awesome that you bought this just to show us how to use it. There's not many options on the iPad to sculpt. I do love Nomad, me too, but it definitely is not ZBrush. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see those differences. Yeah, I've never used ZBrush, so I can't compare. I get that question a lot, as well. Donnie, I do love Nomad. I wish I was as quick and good as you. Yet it just takes time. I started learning Nomad in 2021. I was at the airport one day and modeled Stitch on my Fold 4 with a pen. Nomad is amazing. Agreed. That's one thing that I love about Nomad, especially since I was having back issues. Um, because I can just bring my iPad in there and work. I can bring my laptop in there and work. When I travel, I always bring my iPad on planes. Anywhere I go, like, literally, I'm so obsessed with it. And it's just great that you can make a meal. Like, I like bringing things into Blender, But I can go all day and just sculpt and sculpt and sculpt and be like, oh, eventually I'll bring this, or I'll make something and be like, eventually when I get home, I'll transfer it to my laptop. Unless I bring my laptop with me, where then I can just do everything. But again, it's a little bit. It might be a little bit easier for me. I'm sure you know how to do it, but since I use an iPad and a MacBook Pro, uh, I do have to say that the Apple ecosystem does make it very easy to just like fluidly like move things from one to another. So when I had a different laptop, I had to use wait, what was I using? I had to use like Send Anywhere. Oh, and you know what? I think it might have been because I still had a Android phone, so I had to use Send Anywhere to like send stuff back and forth to the phone. But now I'm like completely sucked in. So, but it's just easier because I record on a iPhone 13 Pro. I This is an iPad obviously, and then I have my MacBook Pro, and it is really easy to move things. And for me, for the amount of data that I'm moving all the time from my phone to my laptop to the iPad, that alone like makes it worth it for me. But I think it's great that you can do it on Android and iOS alone. I just think the more options, the better. Okay, Killer Kawaii. There's just a couple features on ZBrush that make life so much easier and faster that Nomad doesn't have. But I love Nomad, and it's easy to use and enjoyable. Yeah, I'm sure there is. And the thing that I really love about Nomad is I feel like little by little these things sort of get implemented into Nomad. So I feel kind of excited that we're just like on the brink of like what the iPad can do for 3D and what Nomad can do. Because to me, it seems like these really great things keep being put into Nomad. And I would not be surprised if one day we can do like things we can do in like maybe Valence or something like that. Like if we can do that in Nomad as well. Like I wouldn't be surprised by that. But also then you have someone like Valence that steps in to fill that gap. Uh, so I think it's just we're just at a good place with options, especially for someone like me who doesn't really have a lot of 3D experience. So I never really understood poly modeling, and to me, for my brain, learning poly modeling first was confusing. That was the reason why I couldn't get into 3D and why I had a lot of issues because everyone was pushing poly modeling and pushing low poly, and I'm like, no, like the way my brain works, like I have to just be able to create what I want to create when I want to create it. It needs to look smooth. So now that I can do that and I'm a little bit getting more efficient, now I understand why poly modeling is good, and now I kind of like have found uses for it. So for me, it was the opposite. I needed to learn how to do millions of polys and do clay and become more efficient, more efficient, more efficient. Now I'm down to like, okay, if I want to make a game system, I'd rather just do it and make it like, I don't know, 500 polygons versus like if I do it in Nomad, it's going to be like, thousands and thousands of polygons. Mr. Rue, I feel a cheaper price would sell more copies and make more money overall. I would agree because I think people would be more willing to give it a chance and people would like make videos, but that is a because there's a lot of people that just really can't afford $50. I feel like if it was like 15 or 20, people would be like, okay, like, but it's one time purchase, so I'll have it. That makes it worth it. But when it's 50, I can see people being like, I don't really see much about it. Seems really complicated. Let's just stick to what we know and enjoy. um, Especially with them wanting users to learn a whole new system. I agree. I 100% agree in that. Agree. Killer Kawaii. Love the character designs. Yeah, those are yeah. There's one thing that I've noticed is how I was able to really grow my Instagram a lot back in the day. I know things have changed and Instagram is like kind of sucks right now. Unless they already push your stuff, then it doesn't really make a difference. I feel like the quality of your work doesn't really hold that much weight on Instagram. It's really whatever Instagram wants to be successful is successful. So I feel like the quality of work and the likes and attention, it doesn't really equate. Same thing with like Facebook. Same thing with most social media stuff now. It doesn't really like equate with one another. Um, Especially because it depends on when you amassed your following, which also affects it. Like, because I've had Instagram, I think, since like 2012 or something like that. So, I've been building it for a long time. But then, like, people can just like steal meme videos and just like post a million of them and get a million followers in like a week. So, and also the checkmark thing is now just like I don't know, all that stuff is just like they kind of just ruined the allure of all that stuff. Teaks, Nomad and Valence mixed together would make it real interesting. Um, yeah, I agree. I agree. Or like some sort of like if they have some sort of opt-in thing where like, oh, have like a Valence type thing that's like you can buy it in Nomad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But I think that they will feed off of each other, and even if Nomad just had very rudimentary like poly modeling tools. I mean, I guess they do now, but you know what I mean. Like just like extrude, bevel, a few other things. I think that would be unstoppable. Uh, but then again, also I think if Valence had those few things that were still missing from it, that would also make it invaluable. Donnie, shoot, I have to take a call. Work gets in the way of my day sometimes. Yeah, I feel you. Great chatting and thanks for these videos. Of course, I appreciate you swinging by. Make sure to hit that like before you go. I'm going to be doing a lot more live, so I really appreciate Donnie and all of you guys. Um, let's see. Hussein, do Valence 3D worth buying? For me, yes. I think it's priced at a place where I feel comfortable buying it, and it seems like a lot of work was put into it, and there's still a lot of work to go. So I don't mind being on the front end of that and like supporting. I don't mind that at all because I can see its worth, and I even the developer has like commented and stuff like that, so I can tell that they're passionate about it, and I want to learn that kind of stuff, and I can see its value, so therefore I want it to be successful, and I want it to grow. Same with Nomad. I want it to be successful. I want it to grow. I want to be successful. I want to grow. I want all of you artists to like see what these apps can do, to see how they will make 3D modeling more efficient, all of that stuff. So like that's kind of like why I'm in it. So like yeah, for me it's worth it. But I guess it depends. Like it took me a certain while to get to the point where it's like I really understood the usefulness of low poly modeling and like understood those tools. Ed Boy, last thing for me, Dave. Recently came across your stuff and loved the teaching style and learned stuff to improve my work floor. Is the remesh tool any good? Oh, you probably mean quad remesher. Morodo, what's up? Good to see you. Everyone's swinging through. I love it. I love it. So Bambino Monkey, Morodo Bamboo Monkey is the one. So I just did the sculpt with the little robot guy with the cactus inside. So shout out to Morodo. I love all those robots that you do. It's artists like that. Oh, did this get this? It's artists like that I get really inspired by. So I appreciate it, and I just love sculpting like cool art. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing to do. Yeah. So this robot here. So if there's anything you want to see, or anything that anyone have any questions or want to see like it in a different color or something weird or random, just let me know while I'm ranting. But again, shout out again to Bambino Monkey. Okay, let's see. Oh, so quad remesher. I I've done a few projects. I try to do it on my lives, and sometimes it doesn't work as great. But so I like to go through after I finish something and try to make it more efficient. Like I try to make the topology more efficient. I don't. I think it's useful because I like to bring things in Blender, and I think computing wise, it's everything works better and smoother and calculates better if the surface area is much cleaner. So, for example, let's put this to. Let's see. Oh, is this not together? Let me open up a different version. I don't know if this is actually gonna make sense or help, but so if we look at the wireframe, like these wireframes are pretty terrible. You can see. But like for me, like that's just the nature of sculpting, because I can't get everything like I can't pull out all the nodes and vertices for everything like when I'm like working. I'm sure like people in Blender can like do that because they've been using Blender for like 20 years, but like I'm not really in it to like make things for games. I don't care about like game development. But what I do care about is if there's ways to create things the way that I like to create them and what seems comfortable for me and natural for me, and then after the fact I can make it into something that would work for that. That's like where I'm at. And I think that in this day and age there shouldn't be that much of a jump. Like for example, like you can create all of this stuff, you know, obviously this thing knows the topology, it can change the topology, and this is going to be terrible, but we'll try it. So this thing is like 11.9, so we'll move this, we'll just do, I think it's at 10,000, so we'll confirm it. So there's a lot of like weird spots. Oh, symmetry, let me turn that off. There's a lot of weird spots, but it does a pretty good job at trying to clean it up as much as possible. You can see that it's not perfect, unfortunately, but this probably has more to do with the way that I modeled it versus like the quad remesher. Because I don't model everything like perfectly like the way it's supposed to be. I just don't model things like that. I model in the way that I want to model them, and I don't care. Oh, but all of these I went through, and I'm pretty sure that I used the quad remesher, and that's why the topology on most of these looks pretty good versus like something like this. I don't think I use it on something like this, but I think I joined them all together, so I can't do individual. Separate. So this is 3,000. So if I do 3,000 here and just remesh, so it looks pretty much the same, but the topology is much cleaner. So I like to go through and do that to all the rocks, just so I can have everything as efficient and as clean as I can, even though I know that overall the model's not going to be the same as like someone who just like, you know, model stuff with like super clean topology. But I don't care about the topology. Like I know that like topology is like this thing that you know, it's like so everyone is so like praising topology and praising this, and it's like I don't care. Like I want to make visually like amazing things. Like I want the technology, like everyone's like this, the whole AI things, it's like eventually like let's make an AI that can just like do clean topology regardless of what you have. It's like everything can do all these amazing things, yet like they have an app like Cozy Blanket where you have to go and like draw the squares on everything and like connect all these things, and it's everything else is automated. Like you can decimate, you can add more polys, you can take them away, we can like extrude, like all this stuff is like just computers computing things and making things and stuff like that. Yet something like topology just becomes this like, oh, we can't do retopology, you have to do it manually to make it good. But someone eventually is just going to be like, okay, well, like let's just do the topology, and then maybe like, you know, maybe Cozy Blanket is that, but eventually things are going to get easier and easier. Just like how I couldn't do 3D 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I did not know how to do 3D. Now I can make amazing 3D sculpts. So I know that things are going to continue to improve. And right now my I'm an artist. I'm a 3D artist. So like I need to make things look amazing. I'm not here to like make, decent looking things with amazing topology. And I want to show off my topology. Like I don't care about that. Like I want to make amazing looking things that when someone looks at it, they're like, oh, I want to see this thing like as a 3D animated something or other. Because I'm an artist. Like I don't need to, like I like to take photos as well in videos. And what do you do with photos and videos? Like you show the photos and people get some sort of emotion from it and they enjoy it. They're not like, oh, this photo sucks because I can't be in this place and feel the temperature and whatever. Like, no, like I'm a 3D artist. I like to do little animations in Blender, but that's like a whole nother difficult thing. But anyway, to circle back, I like the remesh tool. I like it. I like having that option, and I think it cleans up the topology. So yes. Killer Kawaii, Instagram is ruined right now. YouTube is the hotspot. I'm 100% happy that I sort of started out with my YouTube around the pandemic, because I think that YouTube has definitely been what I've been focusing on. So yeah, and also because YouTube is a good space because all the other social media platforms, unless you already have amassed a really huge following, it's pretty difficult to sort of get there with these other things, unless you post like kind of like graphic stuff, like people like fighting or just those type of things, or you're like literally a comedian, like a TikTok comedian. Everything is like funny. So like I don't have, it's like we artists, we don't really have that. And also you have AI that's like making visually like stunning things. So it's always going to be difficult. We always have to grow and figure out how we can grow our followings. And for me, it's like not only creating the cool things and creating what I create, but that's why I decided to like do these edits to like show how I'm making them, because to me that's just like that extra step that works. But even now I feel like my videos, I love to do them and like people like them, but they're not doing that well on social media. And who knows why? I don't know. It could be my hashtags, it could be whatever, but I don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out like algorithms and hashtags and how to game the system. All of that just takes away from like creating amazing stuff and like creating like content for this like little niche, like people that are like watching. You know what I mean? It's like I can't like spend like I'm part of like this one group on Facebook where everyone's like, oh, like how do I use my analytics to do this or do that? I get it. Analytics are great. I wish I kind of understood them more, and I think they're probably very useful. But I think I spend more of my time trying to figure out how to make the best things that I can do and make them undeniable, and then just hope eventually people come around to them. Because as a one-man show and other creators, I mean, I'm not the only one. I know you guys all know what I'm talking about, but it's so hard to keep up with doing so many things. You know what I mean? Like keeping up with life and work and like all this other stuff, and then trying to keep up with all these new applications and learning how to use them and all these new tools and analytics and using the right hashtags, and then getting some application that shows you like the hot hashtags of the day, and trying to correlate like, oh, Christmas is coming up or this new movie's coming up. Let's make something that coincides with it, so maybe that'll boost it. It's difficult. But what I can do is peruse around on Instagram and support artists that do great art. And if I'm inspired enough, I'm like, I want to try to make that in 3D. That's how I learn, and that's how I've tried to build this channel, because I didn't even kind of realize, but that's what people like to see that. You know what I mean? Like people seem to enjoy that. So okay, let's see. What is this? So this is like a Q&A and interactive chat. And I apologize for not putting on my contacts and having good lighting. This camera view like kind of sucks, but I just feel like it's more personal if you see me at my kind of how I wake up and sit on my computer after I say hello to my fiance and go to the bathroom. Okay, let's see. Instagram's Hussein, is it good for perspective base for your illustration? Is it good for perspective base valence? I think valence. I think valence is good for more things that are designed. I'm not. I don't really have a history of designing, of drawing and illustrating things that are designed. My illustrations are all more organic. But now that I'm doing a lot of 3D, I do want to make things as efficiently as possible. So, for example, like the game thing that I did, the little game character, or when I look at, see, this is still more organic. Like, even though it's mechanical and there's certain parts that are sharp and it's like looks kind of hard edge, it still looks organic. So I love that median. But and it's also the same with this. Like, it's not perfect, but you can do everything you can do here. It's just like a rectangle with rounded edges, cylinder, two cylinders, like cylinder, and then everything is like can be just made much more simple than actual sculpting. So that's the reason why I like Valence. Like this, I wouldn't try to do in Valence. This I would do in Nomad. But something more technical that just has a lot of like a device, it would just make sense to do it in Valence. I was a bullfrog. Do you think uniform is worth picking up currently? There are a few features I'm interested in, but with Cozy Blanket and Nomad, I question if it's worth the price right now. You know, if you think that it's useful, and I learned this from Valence, and not that I won't tell the truth, but I want to try to say what I want to say in a way that is not polarizing, without a clear explanation, without giving some grace. And the grace is because I've never used it and I don't understand how to use things like that. Maybe no one does. But I will say, I question if it's worth the price right now. It is a bit pricey, but it is a one-time price. So at least there's that. It's $50. Let me mute real quick. But I think that it's worth it if you think that there's things that might be useful to you, and if you want to dedicate the time to figure it out, I think it might be worth it for you. Personally, for me, in my old age, I don't know if I want to learn a new program that's really complicated unless I can see the benefits. So I might hold back, and then eventually, if there's like some reason that I can't not get it, then maybe I'll get it. But I didn't enjoy the process of kind of learning it. It feels like it's super complex. And I think for my mental health, I need to save my ultra complex things for Blender. Because Blender already makes me want to pull my hair out. I know. But Blender is like, Blender is the most complicated. Blender is like the most like you can do absolutely amazing things on Blender, but it feels like it was designed so that to make it as difficult as they possibly could and as hard to understand and as confusing and as convoluted as possible. So you can do all that stuff, but it's like, no, we're not going to make you jump through one hoop. We're going to make you build the hoop vertice by vertice, and then you have to jump through it. And anyway, I'm not going to go on about it. I mean, I love it. I think it's cool. I might as well just show you while I'm here. I might as well show you guys. Let me see if I go to. Well, let me read through these real quick, and then I'll show you the little game in Blender. I don't know how the turntable is gonna look, so we're gonna figure that out together. So I think it's worth it if you want to try it out. Um, I think it just I think they need to put more videos out so people will have a better understanding. Maroto Bambino Monkey, thanks a lot, sir. Likewise, I really love your work, and I'm a big fan, and I love, your work inspires me. My work inspires other people. I think that's the way that we all like move forward. I love it. Um, Love that little guy. I can never get my Nomad renders to look as good as yours. Love the softness around the edges. Um, I wonder if that was. I always like change my screen, so then I don't know which one. But thank you. I was a bullfrog. I love Cozy Blanket. It's like a meditation activity. Um, I'm sure it is. The thing about Cozy Blanket when I was using it is I kept thinking like there's got to be a way to automate this to make it easier. Like there's got to be a way. There's got to be something that they can compute. I mean, obviously the computer, like the system knows the shapes and the forms and the curves. Like there's got to be a way that it can be automated and do a better job than making each square. It just feels like to me, if you think about the amount of things that are computed on any given 3D application, um, squares on the surface should be the one of the easiest things to do and have automated and just to do it easily. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's so many more things that it can compute that literally make my laptop feel like it's burning up because it's doing so many computations, and it can computate light going through this and going through glass and caustics and shadows. But nope, we're not going to automate boxes on the surface of a 3D mesh. We can't do it. You have to do it manually. You have to draw it out. Even if you want to put certain things the way you want to put them, we're not going to do the whole thing and then allow you to just kind of, move around or draw like, oh, I want this to be like a different face color or something. And what is it? Like face, like around the mouth. It needs to like move. So, you can just draw a circle around it. And now, oh, these are like pink and they're smaller. Oh, these looks like there's a crease here with the lips. So let's just make it so the squares get smaller there. It can't compute any of that. It's just like, nope, you have to do everything. Draw each box, vertice by vertice. So I like it. I get it. I'm sure it's great. But I, at my old age, I need more automation. Ed Boy, true for me. I want to print my own models. Sometimes I want to animate some characters I modeled over on PC. I cannot wait to get back to printing. Once I'm in full better health, I think I'll get back to printing. But I also might not get back to it until I have more room. It's hard because I do everything in my room. My fiance and I have separate rooms because we have separate schedules, and we don't have a huge apartment. So like my printer is back there, all the way back. And it's just like it's difficult. I have to print like when I'm in the house, and I can't print when I'm like sleeping because that just the thought of like an 8 hour print while I'm sleeping and just breathing in that. Like I have garbage bags and stuff on it, but it doesn't. It's you can't keep that resin smell in. Um, but anyway, I love 3D. I love 3D printing. I like sanding. I like uh, what is it called when you priming things and painting. I made some things look really cool. I love it, but it's just hard to do in the current space. I sort of feel trapped in here. I just don't have enough space to do it, unfortunately. Even when I go outside in the back, it's like, uh, John Munoz. Hello, Dave. Are you thinking about getting the new iPad Pro with the M4 chip? I might have to do a live stream, or I might have to do a video like specifically about this. I get this question a lot. Um, I don't think I'm gonna get the new iPad. I don't really feel the need to get it. Um, Also, what iPad do you own right now and what chip? Yeah, I think I have M2. I have the 2022, so I think that's the M2. Um, but the M4, I don't feel the need to have it right now. And here's another thing. Like, so maybe it has more power, but since the more I'm sculpting, the more efficient my sculpts are. So I did the sculpt. This sculpt that I did, I think originally was, let's see. So this sculpt that I just did. So this sculpt was originally like, it got up to like 4 million, 5 million, because when I'm making things, I'm not worrying about decimating and making it efficient until a certain point. So it might go up to like 4 or 5 million. But I don't think I've ever gone up past like 6 or 7 million ever. And my M1 was able to do that. So now I have the M2, it's still able to do that. The only problems I have with the iPad is that they don't want me to, like, it doesn't allow you to work with the screen brightness over 50% for any length of time for anything, because the iPad gets too hot and then it dims and you can't control it. It just dims. It's the most annoying thing ever and I hate it. Let me burn the screen out if I want to. If I want to work on something, you know what I mean? Like, give me like a pop-up or something that says like the screen is getting hot, like you should rest, but like don't just dim it when I'm trying to work and trying to record. I hate it. So what that tells me is that the iPad and the iPad cooling can't handle what the M2 chip can do. So for me, it's like I don't want to get an M3, an M4, more power, more power, more power. But if you use your screen over 50% brightness and you're trying to sculpt and record it, we're just going to dim because we're getting too hot. I get it. I understand why it dims. But, I mean, are we just going to go to like M5, M6, M10? And then like you can use it amazingly for 5 minutes and then it needs to shut down to cool off? I don't know. So that's my thing with like the new iPads. And if you're going to make a new iPad, like make an iPad that's 15 inches. For someone like me that's just like, you know, I mean, I don't necessarily need it, but like this is my workstation. I make videos. So like I'll just get like a bigger iPad and just leave it here. You know what I mean? Like there is a market for that. Like not everyone's maybe going to afford it or whatever, but like if you're going to make a new iPad, like don't just like, oh, everything's the same except we're putting like more powerful chip in and we're making it thinner. Like I don't know, make it like an electric ice pack that I can plug in so the freaking thing stays cool. That way I can just work longer and I don't have to worry about the screen dimming. The most important part of an iPad is the screen. I want to look at it how I want to look at it. I don't want you to dim it for me. Especially when I'm recording B-roll, like when I have my big camera, like when I have this thing and I have it all set up and I'm trying to record and I have the screen how I want it. Everything's exposed correctly and then I'm recording and then it just dims. And it makes me want to jump out of my closed window. But yeah, anyway, yes, I will, I'll be passing on the M4 for now. Killer Kawaii, the algorithm does not like to push art. There's not instant gratification and no wow factor. I mean, wow factor to me because your art's amazing. Well, thank you, and I 100% agree. It's not the same sort of wow factor. You know what I mean? Like people want to see videos. Oh, this person's about to get bit by something. Oh, this person jumped off of something and they're gonna get, they're gonna, break their legs or something. Oh, there's like a car spinning out and it's about to hit all these people. Let's pause it there. Like that's what people want to see. You know what I mean? Like that's what really like sells. And yeah, art really doesn't do that. Especially the way Instagram used to be. Like Instagram used to be like, oh, everyone can be like a photographer and just show their artwork and like let's go and like take photos and blur out the frame and all that stuff. Or Instagram used to be like artsy. Now Instagram wants to be TikTok. Everything wants to be TikTok. Everything wants to be instant gratification that you can't turn away from. I get it. I get sucked in as well. But, for me as a creator, it's up to me to figure out some way to get some of those people, and it's difficult. I'm still trying. We're always trying to figure out how to do that. Anyway, let's see. Yes, my guy, it's overwhelming trying to save your real life, yeah, and then trying to have basically a business online. 100%. It's tough to live real life, and also like be an artist and try to create content and try to seek everyone. We all try to seek validation and like likes and the attention online. And not that we're all like just crazy attention seekers, because I don't think that that's me. But I spend a lot of time on something, and it's like I just want people to see it. Like that's why I'm creating it. I know it's possible because I've had things that did really well, so I know it's possible. But it's easy to fall into that place where we just want that validation, and we want the likes, and we want the numbers to go up, because that means more exposure, and somehow that equates to more money. Even though the money thing is difficult, YouTube is the only way that I really feel like I put a lot of time into it, so at least I get a little something back. I make most of my money on Skillshare. Luckily, there's a lot of people that are at the point where they're like, no, I'm going to pay to take these classes that are structured courses. Luckily, there's people out there that do that. Like, there's actually a lot of people that do that, because that's how I'm able to like do all this and spend my time. And like, I stopped my other job. I used to work on like movie and TV and film sets. Thanks all due to Skillshare. I make a little money on YouTube, but like not really that much. Chris Holmes, hey Dave, love your work, man. You're a total influence in our community. Interested to see more uniform and what it's capable of. I am too. I'm interested to see just how it works. Stolo, I bought an M4 with the Nano. What's the Nano? The mat is just like drawing on Wacom Cintiq. Love it. Yeah, I tried using a Wacom, but it felt like a screen connected to a PC, which is cool. But since I'm keyed into the iPad, and okay, so you have an iPad now. I'm assuming you used to have a Cintiq. How do you feel about the iPad? Because personally, I can't imagine anything surpassing the iPad, and just ease of use, how clean it is with the Apple Pencil. To me, it just feels unrivaled. But I'm curious what you think. John Munoz, how much space? I think like 228 or whatever it is, whatever like the mid-level space is. I don't know how to tell. I think this is space on my iPad. I don't even know how to get to it. Would it be about? Would it be storage? Storage? General? $256. That's what I meant. $256. Victor Helt. Shout out to Victor Helt. Great to see you here. Thanks for stopping by. Always nice to see my people swing by. Hi Dave, good to see you again. Love your passion you put into your work. Thank you so much. I do put a lot of passion and a lot of hard work into my art. That's definitely like what I love to do. So it's like I continue to try to find a way, because that's the only thing that I've like, for example, I don't like public speaking, but like if I have to, like, I don't know if you guys saw the interview I did with Adorama, Breakfast with Creators, but things like that are so easy because I'm talking about things that I'm passionate about. So that's the thing. If you ever thought that you were afraid of public speaking, you're not afraid of public speaking. You're afraid of public speaking about something that you aren't passionate about and don't have knowledge, like firsthand knowledge of. That's all it is. Anything that you're passionate about or that you know about, you can talk forever. And if you just think about that, that's what it is. So like I don't like public speaking, but if I just have to talk about something, like talk about my art or like why I do art or things like that, then it's fine. I'll still be nervous, but it's easy. Hussein, thank you. You're welcome. What's up, Rock J? Hello. Good to see you. Thanks for swinging by. Teeks, Blender, learning Japanese. Oh, 100%. I always think about that in my head. It's like they make it so difficult. And the tips, the way that it's worded by someone who has like that sort of brain. Like it's worded by like a savant that thinks that everyone that's reading this is also super brilliant and understands all the lingo. And I am not that. What's up, Nay? I wanted to get this app, but there's no videos, and the creator said he's never going to make tutorial vids. Ugh, I don't like the way that sounds. I was a bullfrog. That makes sense. Thank you for your advice. I'm thinking I'll keep an eye on it and see what I think in a few weeks. I think I was a bullfrog means about whatever. What is this called again? Uniform. The same company that did Cozy Blanket. I don't like that. They're not going to make any videos. Like why not? Like obviously they put a lot of time into it and things like that. I mean, I guess they just. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they know more than me. Maybe it's for a different type of person. I don't know. Rock J, can you please make a video, or have you already made a video on all the Nomad tools and other useful features? Yeah, my crash courses are like my. I don't really have a video about like just all the features and things like that. I don't really know all of them. I would say do some of my crash courses, because then you just learn how to sculpt something from nothing. And I think that's the way to go. They say documentation is better than. Documentation is definitely not better than. 100% documentation is not better than making tutorials. Because documentation is not going to help people with like the nuances of the app and where to go and where to click. Everything I know about Nomad is because art by Choffs. I feel bad. I don't want to get this name right. Art by. Could be Chofs, could be Choffs, could be Coughs. Shoffs. Or could be Art by Cho, FS. But thank you. Everything I know about Nomad is because of you. I love to hear that. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that you have to see me in my current state with terrible lighting and glasses. All of you guys, I mean. Ed Boy Movies. Wasn't there a super powerful Mac made a few years ago and someone stuck it in a freezer to chill down sometimes? I don't know, probably. But I've done that. I've done that in a video where I stuck my MacBook Pro in the fridge. Luckily, it still works okay. I accidentally left it in there for a little too long. But now I use. So I get like these delivered meals, and they have these big ice packs. So literally, I take those ice packs and I put it underneath my laptop. Otherwise, it's just too loud. Sometimes if I have something rendering or something and it's next, trying to film, or if I had Blender going right now, the fans would start up. So I would probably just have to go get it. Which I'm going to show you the game device once I get through these. Tomcat, do you think the new iPad Air 13-inch would be suitable for Nomad Sculpt? iPad Pro seems a bit overkill. If you want to use Nomad Sculpt, iPad Pro is definitely not overkill. I think that iPad Pro would be the best because I think it would just last you the longest. But it definitely wouldn't be overkill. If you're learning to use Nomad and you want to sculpt on Nomad, the iPad Air will probably be fine. The newer ones, like if it has like an M1 or I would just think any of the M's, you'll be good. You'll be good to go. But if you really want to do it like for me, I knew that I wanted to record tutorials and be serious with it, then I'm always going to get the iPad Pro. And all I use is Nomad and Balance and 3D programs. That's all I use it for. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure the any new iPad would be fine. New iPad Pro is so expensive. I don't even know how expensive it is. I feel like all iPads are pretty much the same price, like $12.99 or something. The Air 13 is M2, should be good for Nomad. Yeah, that's what I have in my iPad Pro. Even Android have Nomad. Do you think the Apple Pencil Pro will be of some use in Nomad Sculpts? I think it'll be the same. If Android can handle it, I think iPad Air can, 100%. Stolo, I just mean the Nano make the feel of the pen similar to Wacom. I have a paper-like screen protector on, So it's always I always have a matte screen protector, but even just the regular ones from Amazon are good. But yeah, I like the little bit of friction as well. Teeks. Teeks is out of here. I appreciate it. Thanks for swinging by. I also appreciate your little short tutorials. They really help me get started with Valance. So check out Teeks, and subscribe and all that stuff. Tomcat, thanks Ed boy. Nay, the creator said he will do live streams on Twitch, but I think Twitch only keeps the vids up for a certain amount of time. Not everyone will sit through a 3-hour live stream. Agreed. And that's why I like YouTube, because it just like stays there. We need Glenn to figure out uniform for us 100%. The creator did work on the brush engine at Blender, so it makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense. And we do need Glenn for this. Glenn will definitely provide a more, he'd probably do a better job at something like this. Aside from the hover and haptic feedback, I think the Apple Pencil Prep is most optimized for something like Procreate. Yeah, I usually turn off the hover. I didn't like it. Do you post the crash courses on YouTube? I can't pay for the online courses, so I learn from YouTube. Yeah. Just click on my name and then type in crash course. I have, to use the technical term, I have a butt ton of crash courses. A butt ton. No prettily. Tomcat, thank you. I'll say, okay, so we got to it. I'm just going to show you the little game design that I did. First, I'll show you on Nomad. So I'll show you on Nomad here. Actually, I can probably show you. Fans are probably going to start up soon. We'll see. So here's the one game. Let's show my Mac screen. Oh wait, you can't see my Mac screen. Oh, is that my face? Oh, it is my face. Okay, so here is... Oh, do I hear my computer already? So here's this. So this is what it looks like in Blender. And I'll close this and show you what it actually looks like in Blender. Oh, I actually changed the color. I don't think I printed out this one just yet. Okay, so this is what it looks like in Blender. So now let's open Final Cut Pro. And by the way, my MacBook Pro is only an M1, and literally, like, it handles so much stuff. Like right now I have like Photoshop, Blender, and a few other things open. It really handles everything well, but again, obviously it has fans, and I use the ice packs. Oh, here's the time lapse for this. Let's go to... Oh, is this for 360? Oh, it is. I think I already exported this. I think I exported this. I don't think I'm going to change it. Vert 60. We'll just put 2 here. I don't know actually how to make it 60 frames per second, but I did once, so now I just like have... Why are you not selecting all of it? Delete. Thank you. Okay, so now let's find Animation Station game. I don't know how to do animation, and I know you can like do playback and stuff in Blender. I don't know how to do all that. I just bring it into Final Cut Pro. You better not disappear. Okay. And I recently just learned how to use Final Cut Pro as well. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, so it looks good. We'll go ahead and do them. We'll go ahead and export. Usually I do that. I export it and then I export a smaller version. So I have one that like I'll keep on the computer, because I don't have that much space on my phone, so I can't like bring like a super huge file over to my phone, because like Excel is 219 and the small one is 3 megabytes. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I don't like where it stops, but I guess I can edit it in some other software. Yeah, but that's the game. Let's go back to we'll go back to here. Okay, let's see. Some people tell me there's a setting to keep the video up forever on Twitch. I tried using Twitch for a while, but I think I have to stick to YouTube, because I find that sometimes I don't want to spread myself too thin on these like applications. So I'll just stick to YouTube for now, I think. How's camera placement and balance? I want to make industrial buildings in balance. I think it's okay. I think you can, it's kind of like, it has a similar thing, but I think that you'd be able to get used to it. I don't really find too much of an issue with the camera. It seems like it's like designed for things like that, so I think it'd be okay. Definitely check out Teek's Tip Time on YouTube. They have a lot of tutorials and stuff. They're short, but it could be helpful. Yes, butt ton that's a technical term. You can Google it. It's a real term. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. All right, that's about it. I'm gonna get off so I can live a little bit of life. But I might try to do a live stream maybe tonight after my fiance goes to bed. I might try to do a live stream or something like that. There's a few other things I still want to sculpt. I think it might be sculpt. It might be sculpt fun. This little guy. I don't think that'll take too long, which for me probably means like 2 hours. Because even things that seem simple usually aren't. But yeah, so I think we'll go from there. But I appreciate all you guys. Make sure you give me a like before you bounce. And yeah, thanks for making my YouTube what it is. I appreciate all you guys swinging by and saying hello, and for the likes. And yeah. So I think so to put a pin in it, uniform, I might come back to it. Maybe if someone tags me. If you find videos, tag me. If you think you find a helpful video or something like that, tag me in it. I'll take a look. But I think I might keep this for a few more days just in case. And then I think I'm going to get rid of it and just stick to Nomad and Balance. And I think that'll be that. Sean Safer, so great to hear that you're learning a lot. Hopefully a lot of people will learn a lot through this video. And, you know, just to have a first look, even if since I don't like it, doesn't mean that, you know, I have a different brain. Everyone has different brains. They learn differently. They know more or less information. So just because I don't like it doesn't mean that you shouldn't try it, or that it's not going to be right for you. Maybe it's the greatest 3D app ever. I am just a 3D artist. I just want to make beautiful things, and I don't want things to be super complicated. I don't want Blender on the iPad. Blender is just too crazy. When they come out with Blender Lite, then I'm all about it. But for now, I'll keep my Blender headache on the computer and have fun sculpting. But anyway, I think that's it. Keep drawing, keep sculpting. I'll see you all in the next video. This was fun. This was a lot longer than what I expected, but it was fun.